Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So what we're going to do in this one is we're going to display all the users of our block. All right. So if it's an admin or moderator, their roles, the name, and what we're going to do, we're going to display the email. And what we're going to do in this one, we're going to check if they subscribed or not. We're going to check what plan they subscribe to and if the plan is active and the role of that user. And when they joined, and we're going to add some action buttons to this right here to either edit, ban, or whatever the case may be from the dashboard. Right. So other thing is I got the layout. I created the admin layout, the admin side nav that's different to the normal users. All right. I added middleware in the right group to determine to check if the user is admin or not. So this video will be in two parts. All right. So in this one video, the first part of the video will be doing this. Right. So for the ones that only want to see me do how to do this, the second part, I will just explain what I've done in the background. All right. So this video will be longer than usual. Right. Just for the people that want to know how I created this, so that if they want to basically follow up and be on the same page as me, they can do that in the second part of the video. Anyway, enough of that. So let's quickly get started. Right, I got my user model open. So the first thing that I want to do, I want to basically eager load the relationship between the user and the subscriptions in order to avoid the N+1 problem. So let's quickly do that. So protected with. All right, and we're going to basically do the subscriptions. Right, like that. So now we eager loaded that relationship. Another thing that I want to add underneath here is, let's go to the moderator, just add the public is default. So just to make sure that the default user, all right, so just to return that type, or you can change this to normal or anything that you want. All right, so in my case, I'm just going to do it, check if the user is a default user. The other thing is I just want to public function join date. Right, just to, if I basically call on this method, it just needs to bring the created add to this format. The reason why I'm not casting it to the created add date itself, because I want to change the date on different ways. For the index for all the users, I just want to use this like this. Okay, so I can just change the format to whatever I want right there. All right, so that's what we're going to do here. So if you're using the template, I just wanted to show you, go to your admin routes right here. And if you're not using the template, just create a user controller, and then you create a route group with a prefix of users and users.index. But inside that route group, we have a route group encapsulating the whole group, right, with a middleware of is admin and authenticated, and a prefix of admin and as admin. All right. So in this case, we've got our users. We're returning that user. So it will basically be admin /users right here. Okay. So anyway, let's go to our user controller. This one right here. All right. So what I want to do, I just only want the admin users to basically view this page. All right. So this index view. So only the admins can see this and nobody else. So what we're going to do is we're going to this authorize. All right, so what we're going to do in here, we authorize the user policy. All right, and we're going to do the super admin, and then we pass in the user class like this. All right, so we just going to authorize, just make sure you bring in the user model and the policy. Okay. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to pass in all the users basically to our view. So just get all the users. Please don't use, especially for your users, don't use all. All right, don't do this. The reason for that is, especially in this case, if you're going to have a lot of users, this query right here. Let's say you've got 1,000 records or 1,000,000 records. It depends on how big your users will grow, right? This will load all of that at once, and that's a big thing, all right? So that's quite difficult on your server. All right, so let's just go to paginate. All right, so we want to paginate how many? I just want to paginate 5 at the moment. The reason I would normally just go to 10 or 15 or 20, all right? But in my case, I'm just going to use 5 because we don't have many users in the database, and I just want to do the pagination styling in the front end as well. And I'm zoomed in a bit so that you guys can easily see basically the dashboard, so that you can basically see whatever. And if I add more users, we cannot see everything in it. Okay, so let's go to admin users.index. Let's go to the view. All right, in that view, if you're using the template, we basically got a table head, and a table body right here. Okay, so if you want to follow along, and if you got your own template, just create your table head, and your table body. Right, so in the table head, right here, we got a name. The second one will be the email. And here we want a subscription. Subscription name, and status. Okay. Or you can just do the subscription status to let it know if it's active or not, or just the name. It doesn't matter. It's totally up to you. The other one right here, this will be the action part. Okay, now we're not going to have any action at the moment when we're going to do this on its own, where we're going to actually be able to ban a user and all that kind of stuff on its own. All right, so now we got that part right there. So now in the table row right here in your body, we're just going to have one table row, and we're going to do a for each loop over that for each users as user. All right, so let's move that table row inside that. Okay. Inside the first one, we just want to get the username. The name like this. All right, I'm calling on the method. All right, you can just call the property. It's also fine. I'm calling on the method that just returns the property right there. All right, so the next one that we have, this one will be the email. User email address. Okay, and then we got, this is obviously shows date right there, but we're checking the subscription name and status. Right, so I'm going to break this up in two, so let me just give us some room here, like this. All right, so what I want to do is I want to get the user. Right, so I'm going to do actually for each loop, because the subscriptions come as a collection. All right, so let's just do this. So as for the user, just going to get the subscriptions as a subscription. Okay, so let's just keep it like that. All right, so for each of those, we just want to get, the first one will be the subscription name. Okay, and I'm just going to add a comma right there. The other one will be the subscription Stripe status. Right, so you might be wondering where this is coming from. So let me just show you. Under database migrations, you will see under the subscriptions table, when we installed Laravel Cache, this one right here, you will see we got a name field, this one right here, and we got the subscription status right there. Okay, Stripe status and the price or whatever. So if you need more information, you can actually add this into your basically your index view right here. All right, so what I want to do as well is I want to uppercase first, this like this, uppercase first as well, and this one as well. Right, so because they're coming lowercase from the database, first like that. Right, so that's basically our subscriptions all sorted. The next thing that we want to do is we want to check if the user, the role of that user, all right, we want to check that as well. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm just going to add a span like this. Okay, so let's do an if statement. So if the user is admin, or if the user is super admin, like this. That's the first one, and I'm just going to make here admin. Right, and then we're going to add an else if, like this. So the next one, if the user is a writer, right? Now, where I'm getting this from, I just wanted to show to someone that might be new, there is admin, is super admin. If we go to the users table model right here, you will see that we got an is writer, is admin, that basically return the self admin, which are constants that we created. For the default user is 1, the moderator is 2, writer 3, admin, and super admin. Okay. All right, so that's our writer right there. So let's add a span tag. Let's just add an end if right here at the bottom. End if. Okay, so that's a writer. All right, so the next one, let's just copy this. Okay. Okay, so basically what I've done is I got my admin, and then we'll show this. If it's a writer, show writer. If the user is a moderator, show moderator. If the user is default, just show normal user right here. All right, so the next thing that we need is, I'm just going to copy this one down. This is for action buttons, the bottom part. So I'm just going to show here the join date. Okay, and the user joined date. Right, so this is obviously the method that we created inside our user model. Just want to show you the join date right there. Okay, so we got it right there. So obviously the buttons right here, I'm just going to call, just make here buttons. So ban, just put a comma, delete, and all that kind of stuff. So I will not create this. When we get to a separate episode for user management, I would do this right here. Okay, so for now, let's see if we can display all of them. I'm going to do this in the background, all right? So as you can see, the background right now is green. So every one of them will be like all of them green. But what I will do is I will just add their own styling, all right, for each one of them. So add a class and give them each individual styling. So the admins will be a different color to this and that and that. But for now, I'm just going to leave it all as green due to time constraints. All right, so I will just add all the styling in the background. All right, so this is what we have now. As you can see, the admin user shows admin, writer, moderator, normal user. All right, and then we've got our action buttons. We're obviously not working. We're going to get that to its own episode. As you can see, the join date show when they joined, and the subscription name and status. As you can see, it's active and yearly right there. We need just to add the pagination at the bottom right there, and we're all done with the first part. Okay. Right, so just underneath the table right there, we're just going to add a div. Okay, with the classes, we're going to get to the classes right now. All right, and then we're going to add, in order to add the links, you can do in two ways. You can add the links like this, okay, or you can call the render like this. Totally up to you. All right, both of them will display the links. All right, I'm just going to add a padding 2, margin top of 6, and a background gray of 200. Okay, so let's see how this looks like. All right, just make sure this needs to be users, all right, not user. All right, so let's go back. All right, so as you can see, we've got our pagination showing 1 of 5 of 14 results. So we've got 14 users. So as you can see, we've got our pagination right there. All right, so this brings it to an end of the first part. The second part of this video will be short video, because I will just kind of explain roughly what I've done, so that if those guys wants to copy it, they can copy it. All right, so let's go. All right, so basically what I've done, so let me just close all of this off. Right, I created a layout. So if we go to our view, you will see I got an admin layout that returns the admin layout right here. Then I created an add admin and an end admin. So then, because then I created an admin dashboard.admin.sitenav. So let's go to that component dashboard admin.sitenav. So I know all those navigations and everything in here will be admin related. Okay. So that I added for obviously for the profile, then all the users right here, and then this one is for the writers, and then the post as well. So this is just copied links. So I haven't created the post.index and all that kind of stuff yet. We're going to get to that very, very shortly. Right, so for the users that we created right now, this one right here, you will see we have the admin users.index. Okay, so then we're going to check that out right there. Right, so obviously in order to create a user, I haven't created that round yet, but so I just have this post.create right there for now. Right, so that's the first thing. Right, so let's quickly go to the layouts. There's add admin. So if we go to our app providers, Blade Service Provider right here, that admin round basically, the user, I'm just getting an authenticated user, and I'm just returning that user to check if the user is an admin, if the user is a writer, or if the user is a super admin. All right. So these are the only people that I want to be able to see the navigation. This one right here, to be able to see the site nav like there. Okay. And that's the part right there. The other thing, so let me just pause the video if I'm going a bit too fast. I don't want the videos to be too long. Right, so the admin right there. Okay, just pause it. The next thing that I did is I went and updated my user policy. Let's go there quickly. So policies, the user policy update. All right, I add an admin route policy like this. All right, the admin route is just to make sure that nobody gets to that route of admin / whatever the case may be, unless they are an admin user, writer, and a super admin. So the admin route, just to protect that route. Okay, so after that, I went to update our middleware, HTTP middleware, our is admin middleware instead of the admin, instead of this, okay, where it's just the admin and the moderator. I made that to use the admin route right here. Okay, so then I use this is admin middleware inside our routes admin right here. I use this is admin middleware right here in order to protect all these routes, to make sure that only, let's go to the user policy, that only the is admin or a writer or a super admin may access this route right here. Okay, anything related to our, basically our dashboard for our admins, any admin / whatever the case may be, that routes are now protected to make sure only the writers, okay, only the writer, super admin, and the is admin may access those routes. All right, so that's the only things I've done in the background. So if you guys want to just copy them over, pause the video at a certain section and just copy them over. All right, so that's it for me. And if you guys want any more information, please ask them for me in the comment section, and like the video if you like it. And if you have any negative feedback as well, please give it for me in the comment section. Will always try to improve my videos, give more information, or whatever the case may be. All right, thank you guys, and see you in the next one. Adios.